Hello and welcome to another episode of Boston Power Hour. My name is Caiden. I'm your host. I'm joined, as always, with Jamison and Jake.
What's goody?
How you doing?
Ready to start?
Yeah, I think we're going to get started. So we're going to jump right into this here. The Patriots have like zero cap space. I'm have a little cold, so my voice is a little raspy. But so Stephon Gilmore is taking up a lot of the cap space. And I was wondering if you guys think that should the Pats trade him?
Jake, this is all you.
So I know like the whole financial part with sports is kind of like this huge big deal, but I really like Gilmore, and I think he's a key person that is someone that's important to not only the defense but the culture of the Patriots. Someone that is a star player on the Patriots. So I think it's important that we need to keep him so other people around can like understand that culture. And obviously, you have guys like Slater and Hightower, those guys that understand it and don't think of it as much as a hit as a guy like Gilmore does. But I think Gilmore's that star player where people like look up to him and say, "Wow, like you're one of the best on the team, and you embrace the culture." So like I think it's something that we need to keep just for the young guys to like to progress.
All right, so Caiden, what do we gain from getting rid of him though?
You gain about let's see, I'll pull up his cap contract here. Yeah, you gain about you save about $20 million because
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, his contract next year is $18.5 million. That's the cap hit.
And you could add that all that this money space to like other people.
Yeah, and then next year it goes even up.
And you could also you probably also have other assets in the team that could be traded. So like, what do the Patriots actually gain?
Yeah, I don't think they gain anything. I think that you should trade him because listen, he's coming off the Pro Bowl season. He has the most solo tackles. He has 44 solo tackles on the season, 6 interceptions. That's tied first in the NFL, and 20 pass defended. So, those are some pretty good stats there. He's a Pro Bowl corner. Corner is always a need in the NFL, and he's at his highest value. So you have no cap space. The Patriots are kind of in a rebuilding mode. Listen, this is the first year without Tom Brady. You're not going to win a Super Bowl anyway. You got Gilmore for about $20 million this year and Gilmore for about $20 million next year. And then he's an unrestricted free agent. Trade the guy now. That's the most you're going to get out of him. He's at his peak value. He has a shit season or any season that's not as good as last year, which he probably will have a down season because he was so outstanding last year. That just trade him, get some draft picks, and build him. Don't trade. Don't.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy.
That's what I'm saying. He did his time. Defensive Player of the Year. That's a big deal. But so he did his time, and you can get rid of him, and then Gilmore can probably finish out his contract someone else with people who actually want him. He's a Defensive Player of the Year. You can get some good stuff with that.
Yeah, you'll get a lot for him too. I think that you're going to get a lot for him. And you're saving about $40 million over the course of 2 years, and you're in rebuild mode now, and you're not going to win a Super Bowl in 2 years anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to him being traded. I mean, if we're being straight up, depending we got for, we got some picks, nice young guys. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I just think he brings more to the table than just a Defensive Player of the Year. He brings his mindset and his mentality.
You signed the McCourties for that.
Edelman, you have McCourties, and you also have Edelman.
Yeah, but you need other guys, more than 3 guys. There's 9
David Andrews is still on the team, right?
He's still on the team. Hightower's been there. I think
Hightower's a beast.
Even Stidham, I understand he's like a 1. And you have Slater. Stidham, he's going into his second year. This guy already knows stuff. He's been in this organization. He knows you pick it up quick. Don't forget Brian Hoyer. He's been around Bill. He knows what he's doing. So there's a much more cheap options if you're looking for that leadership role. And they have it's not like they have that young of a team. Like you said, Jamison, you have Edelman, you have Hightower, you have the McCourties. That's why they re-signed the McCourties. They re-signed them for the leadership value. So you can get so much for Gilmore. I don't think that I think you'd be missing out if you don't trade him. Yeah, because you're saving, like I said, you're saving money and you're going to get so much shit for him.
Also, I just think the other thing too is that he's chasing the record for the most wins as a coach. So he's going to want to pimp up his defense.
You think so?
Can. Oh, of course he is. I mean, what else does he have left to prove? He has 8 Super Bowls because he had 2 as a DC with the Giants back in the 90s. He has 6 as a head coach. The only thing that he has left to prove is just go get that record because
No, he has to prove that he has to win without Tom Brady. He hasn't won without Tom Brady.
He doesn't care about that. He's already won his 6 Super Bowls.
No, I think that's more important.
It's just records?
I don't think that's more important to him because I think in 10, 20, 30 years from now, when we look back on the Patriots, nobody's going to say, was it Belichick or was it Brady? Because if you go back and look at, like, for example, I know it's a different sport, but look at the Bulls, for example, right? Nobody says, oh, was it Jordan or was it Phil Jackson? You know, nobody says that. It's always like...
Somebody just said that today. I was listening on the radio, actually.
Well, that's not something that a bunch of people bring up. You know, maybe because Phil Jackson went off and he won with Kobe. But
that's what they're saying. How he won with Kobe but
so it was
my argument was he had 2 good teams.
But also you got to look at like Belichick is a defensive-minded player, and he would rather take that money and spend it on the defense anyways, and he would rather have that star defensive player than to go out and get that young quarterback and throw him money down the line, or get that star receiver like an OBJ and put him on it. But
you're not going to get that. So but you have no cap space, and Cleveland Brown's going to want a lot for him. So
do you make that sacrifice? Like,
yeah.
Do you actually do that? Like, is it worth it?
I did see a tweet today that OBJ would free up, I think, $500,000 in cap space or something like that.
Yeah, I think that you're just so desperate for cap space. Like I said, they're in rebuilding mode right now, and I know
they're not in rebuilding mode though. That's the thing; they're not in rebuilding.
Yes, they are.
Belichick wants that record. He only had maybe a good 4 to 5 years, if that. He's not going to want to take a year to rebuild and take.
Do you think that's exactly what?
Do you think Bill Belichick?
I'm not saying he's
thinks about records.
I'm saying he's rebuilding.
Do you guys actually think? Do you actually think so?
It's in the back of his mind, but that's not like the max thing.
Okay, what is that bat doing here?
I'm gonna hit people.
Smart,
I'm gonna about to hit Jake through the screen.
No, but like if we're being serious here, like Belichick already has the 6 Super Bowls. He has the 2 at the DC. I mean, he knows that he was a person that was responsible for the dynasty. So in his mind, there's no winning without Tom Brady. He knows he could do it if he wanted to. So why not try and do that and then go get the coach one? Because if you're telling me that Belichick really thinks that Brady was more important than him, you're telling me that's BS. Because we all know sitting right here that Belichick thinks that he was the most important part in the Patriots dynasty. Whether you think it was Brady or Belichick, we all know that Belichick thinks it was him. And same thing goes for Brady.
Oh, totally. But
Brady definitely thinks it was him. So Belichick.
Do you think the ego exists though?
The ego? I don't think Belichick has that.
Do you think the ego exists of like I'm the better one, like I have the better record? Do you think the ego exists or no? Like, do you actually think secretly? Are they faking it? Like, are the Patriots faking it? And like, they always say they don't care about ego; it's just work ethic. But like,
right?
Actually,
I think Belichick has an ego for himself because I remember when we talked about last episode when Brady left to go to Tampa and he said it was water under the bridge. I think that was his way of just being a sore loser. He was upset that he didn't get his own way, and that was his way of saying like, "This is ridiculous. I should have won," kind of thing. So I think he has an ego and he couldn't swallow his pride. But I think at the same time, he'll always say till the day he dies that he was more important to the Patriots dynasty than Tom Brady. And the only thing that would solidify him more as the best coach in the NFL and NFL history, the greatest coach, is if he gets to the top of that record. Because right now, I believe he's like 40 wins away. So that's like 4 seasons of 10 wins.
And there's no guarantee.
That's what I'm saying. Is
the Pats are going to get to 10 wins this year. I think what you have to understand, Jake, is they're definitely. I think they're definitely in rebuilding. I don't think 10-6 is that much of a reach. I think they can do it, but I'm saying there's no guarantee with a second-year quarterback or a rookie quarterback because Hoyer is definitely not going to take the starting job here. Jake, you said they're not in rebuilding mode. How can they not be in rebuilding mode? They don't have Tom Brady. They're looking at a rookie quarterback or a second-year quarterback who's played 4 snaps.
People keep saying that they don't have Tom Brady, and that's a big thing for the Patriots. Oh, they don't have Tom Brady. Well, look, I understand Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. We talked about this last episode. He's the greatest, and that's a huge, huge, huge loss for the Patriots, right? But that entire defense is basically still the same. It's still
it's not. They lost.
The only thing you're missing.
They lost.
You're missing Van Noy. You're missing Roberts, right? But the core secondary is still together. You still have the McCourties. You still have Gilmore. You still have those key guys on the special teams like a Slater, and Edelman. You still have that core group of guys. The only person you're really missing is that Tom Brady person.
But you can't win without. I think what you don't understand now is like you can't. I don't think Brady was going to win a Super Bowl, but like another Super Bowl. But like you can't win without a quarterback now.
But what I'm trying to say is that it takes a little while for defenses to start clicking, and I think Belichick wants to show also not only by going for that record, but he wants to show that defense can still win championships. Because think about it, that Giants team back in the 90s, That might have been one of the greatest defensive stints for an NFL team in a very long time. And Belichick was a part of that. He was the mastermind right behind it, that DC coordinator spot. So if he wants to bring that to New England in the 21st century and say, look, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to win now with the defense. I don't care about the offense. It's going to be all with the defense.
So how does Kraft fit into this, though?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think we can't discount Kraft here.
He has so much power. Like, it's it's overlooked. It's overlooked how much power he has. Like, he made Tom Brady like there.
Right.
He controlled that. Like, Tom Brady probably would have been traded earlier if it was for Belichick. So how does Kraft play into this?
I think Kraft's going to play into this because if you look at it from a money point, right? Maybe like he says, maybe that's the right move as a financial standpoint, but I feel like also at the same time, he's an elite player in the NFL, and he knows that he's going to put seats in the stadium. So he knows that people want to see Gilmore play. People want to see this, elite player play, and that's going to bring press to him. Think about it. If you get rid of Gilmore, but there's nobody else that brings that elite media and the elite fans
does he care?
To the stadium.
There's no way.
Care more about
the McCourties, the Edelmans, and the Slaters. None of those 3-4 guys, they don't bring the same media attention and fan attention like Gilmore does.
You just don't get it, man. You just don't get it. It doesn't matter. It's not Gilmore that's bringing in the seats. It's a Patriots name. They're going to get so much media attention. Oh, how are the Patriots going to do with second-year quarterback Jarrett Stidham or rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts at the
helmet? Yeah, but how many times have you seen scrolling through Instagram a Gilmore interception or a Gilmore defensive play?
That doesn't matter. ESPN will literally suck the Patriots' dick. They love the Patriots. There is no way, or they hate the Patriots, so they're gonna just cover the shit out of them, right? So, I think that you can't discount that. There's tickets are still gonna go for $300 a piece. You're not gonna see an empty stadium.
I don't think tickets go for $300 a piece because Tom Brady's out there.
Doesn't matter. That's not why
New Englanders only went to go see the Patriots play because they wanted to see Tom Brady play. Think about it. That's the reason why I got to go to the AFC game because I wanted to see Tom Brady play, and I never got to see him play. So that's why I went to the game. I didn't go to see Gilmore play. I didn't go to see the McCourties play.
So why would you go to see Gilmore play now?
Because he's the next best guy. Think about it. He's the next big guy. He's making all these top Sports Center highlights. He's making the ESPN top 10s.
So you're going to spend $300 on a ticket to go see Stephon.
They're not going to be 300. They're not going to be 300. They're going to be 200s. 300 is going to be for the wicked nice seats. I'm talking premium seats.
Wait, I'm thinking about who else puts fans in the seat? Because character-wise, Tom Brady was
I think what
he
you
was
have to
out there. Gilmore is pretty quiet.
People
who do you think is going to do that?
65,000 people isn't a ton of people.
I think Edelman's going to be the face of the Patriots, but I think behind the works, internally, when the Patriots players who they're going to look up to, I think it's going to be Gilmore, just for the fact that, and Slater too. Those are two guys that are, they have their, they're known in the league, they're known for being good. They, use the Patriot mentality. So those are guys that people are going to look up to. Edelman, yes.
Those are defense.
So Jake, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. How many people not named Wes Hogan do you know who has a Matthew Slater jersey?
What?
How many people that are not named Wes Hogan have a Matthew Slater jersey?
Shout out Wes Hogan, man. I miss him.
Well, I know a lot of people don't have Slater jerseys.
Exactly. So people don't care about a special team.
That's what I'm saying. That Edelman's going to put the people in the seats. But also now that there's no Tom Brady, it used to be Tom Brady Edelman. Now there's no Edelman. So now it's going to be
Jarrett Stidham Edelman, dude.
Dude, people only want to see the Patriots players sit them because they haven't been a change in 20 years at quarterback. That's
So you just made my point. People are still going to go in their seats because they're curious what's going to happen without Tom Brady. You don't understand. A lot of these 20-year-old kids who have grown up. Not to say that we haven't grown up with Tom Brady, but literally since they've grown up with Tom Brady. They've cared. Tyler Miller. He's been with Tom Brady since he's entered the league. Actually, probably. I don't know when he was born, but stuff like that Tom Brady has literally been like a father figure to them. They've grown up with them. So now, but us, we're like, all right, well, Tom Brady, all right, we had our 6 Super Bowls, whatever. Let's move on. We're not Tom. I think that what people are discounting is us and the older people, our parents aren't Tom Brady fans. Our parents are Patriots fans. And I think the only people right now are the millennials that are 20, 30 years old. Those people are Tom Brady fans because they've grown up with them. But everybody else are Patriots fans, and I think that's why they're still going to show up to games, and it's team's still going to be as popular as it is.
I think the team's only still going to be popular because it's the Patriot name, and you still have Belichick and Robert Kraft in there.
Yeah, so you didn't mention Stephon Gilmore in there. So
yeah, but I think Stephon Gilmore is going to be the hidden gem that brings the whole thing together. That people want to see the defensive player of the year be the guy, because think about it, he's coming off the defensive player of the year. He wants to maintain that status of the best defensive player in the NFL. So there's no way that people aren't going to want to go see the defensive player in the league.
But $40 million. What's more important? But $40 million would be super nice too.
Yeah, what's more important, like seeing being present in the Patriots way, or like just going to watch like Tom Brady? What's more important, the face or the team? What's more important as fans?
The team. The team.
Like think about it. Like
I think the face is more important, because the fan.
The face is more
you can
important?
have your team could be good. We'll use like LeBron for example, right? LeBron could be on a good team, right? And he's the face, so people want to go see him play. But on the flip side, look at the Lakers last year. Lakers were an awful team, but they had LeBron James. So people sold out the Staples Center because they wanted to see LeBron James play. You look at teams like the Miami Heat. Yes, they still had D Wade, but D Wade, face of the Miami Heat, he left this year. Yes, they brought in Jimmy Butler, but they still were really good, and people still.
But this is the thing, though. I think basketball is such a different sport in this retrospect. Basketball player, there's one player, and one player can win a championship for teams. It can happen. But football,
I don't agree with that. But
more so than football can.
Except Kobe Bryant.
And more so than football.
Kobe Bryant's the only one who can do it.
Okay, so now you have a guy like nobody's gonna be like, holy shit, it's Julian Edelman. We gotta go to a game. People aren't gonna do that. People aren't gonna be like, oh my god, it's Julian Edelman. Oh my god, it's Stephon Gilmore. Because nobody. So if Tom Brady was when Tom Brady was suspended, right, and Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett were quarterbacks, right? Nobody was like, oh my god, it's Rob Gronkowski. We gotta spend $350 on seats. No, they were not. They were like, let's go to a Patriots game. They were not like, oh, let's go see Gronk. That's not why they went.
On this one.
They went to go see the Patriots play. They didn't go to see Gronk play.
I think Gronk is just as big as a face as Tom Brady and Edelman were.
Okay, but that's not why.
I think it went Tom Brady and then Edelman and Gronk, swip swap,
So but I think what you don't understand is teams like the Detroit Lions, right? Their fan base, the Chicago Bears, right? So let's say Jacksonville. Okay, let's say Jacksonville, right? All right. So their fan base isn't loyal, right? Like it's like, man, Jacksonville, like they're not good. If you bring Julian Edelman there, they're not going to be like, oh, we're going to go to a bunch of games because it's Julian Edelman. Like, they're not going to do that.
But they did that for Jalen Ramsey when he was there.
Yeah, but they were good. I think what you don't understand is they were actually good when Jalen Ramsey
they were
was there.
Decent. They were decent for like a little bit, but most of the time when he was there, they weren't that good.
Yeah, but they still didn't sell. They still didn't sell out seats. If I looked up the Jacksonville Jaguars attendance, they almost beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game
a little while ago.
A couple years ago, remember?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Like there's stuff like that.
That was their highlight, losing to the Patriots.
So their average jumped 2 years ago. So this was last year, not last year, but the next. It jumped. Let's see. The average jumped to 63 million. 63,000, not 63 million. 63,000. Like, and I think what you're not understanding is that's a team moving into our next topic here. Actually, no, that's our last topic, but I'm going to make this our second topic because it's a really good transition. This is a team that people are thinking about should move to London, right? So, because that's why they're not getting people in their seats. And they were talking about that before Jalen Ramsey was traded to the Rams.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Gilmore is someone that brings more to the table than what the outside perspective is. He's a locker room guy that people are going to look up to. That's why I think it's an important part to keep him.
Yeah, I just think that like $40 million, which is you're pretty much saving over 2 years, is a hell of a lot of money. And I think you have a guy like Jason McCourty, Devin McCourty, Brian Hoyer, Devontae Hightower, and guys that even like Jarrett Stidham. I really don't discount Jarrett Stidham here. I think these guys all have been in the organization. These guys know what's up, and they know what's up against them too. And without trying to win without Tom Brady now, like I just think that Stephon Gilmore, it's more important to Robert Kraft and the Patriots organization to win than to put money or to put people in their seats because people are going to come.
So, Caiden, like you're saying,
opposite. Kraft wants the money. Kraft doesn't care how we do. He wants.
Yeah, but you're saying
because if Kraft wanted to win, he wouldn't have shipped Garoppolo up. If you think
about it, the
Kraft
Garoppolo move was really good. The Garoppolo move was actually really good at the. It was a really good decision, but it just didn't pan out because if you think about it, the 49ers when they traded Garoppolo, was it for a first rounder? Right?
I don't remember.
I think it was for a first rounder. The 49ers were absolutely terrible. So you're basically trading Garoppolo. You're basically trading Garoppolo for possibly like a top 8 pick. And then all of a sudden Garoppolo comes in, they start winning games, and that trade backfires. But yeah. So moving on to our next topic is moving on to our next topic. Should American sports teams, other than relocate to another country besides Canada, like should a team pick up no matter what the league is, and move to like London or like Germany or Mexico?
I think so. I think that'd be sweet.
Give it to me.
I think it would really outreach. Like, I mean, besides America, it'd really grow. Think about. I think London would be perfect for football. Like, think about how who's the running back on the Bills? That was a rugby player. Like, think about like, and then the NBA. Like, think about how Luka Doncic and Dirk Nowitzki, like those foreign players. Look how many, like the doors opened.
Yeah, Gobert and Ricky Rubio, and
they opened for all these people.
And
so
even
what do you think it would do the same thing for football?
Too, yeah. Jake?
I think London would be a cool spot to have a professional sports team, but I think you couldn't put the NFL team there only for the fact that I feel like people in London wouldn't take football as seriously as Americans do. You think about it. You go to a Patriots game or just a football game in general, people are tailgating, they're outside doing all that nice stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But I just feel like in London, they wouldn't take it like that. It would kind of be like, a little bit more laid back. You wouldn't have that, like, the real hard pre-games going on. People getting drunk out in the parking lots because, honestly, that kind of makes the Patriots games. That kind of ties it all together. You get all the, little stuff like that. That makes football. That's a huge part of football is, tailgating like that. So I feel like people in London, they wouldn't understand why tailgating's like fun and like something to do before a football game. But I feel like that's something that like, I don't know, I just like wouldn't click, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think moving a team to like London, I think England is the only other option here. I don't think you can move them a team anywhere else because by then I think Mexico wouldn't work because you already have teams in California and it just wouldn't be right to put them in Mexico. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense. I think London is the only spot if you're thinking about moving a team anywhere is to there, but I don't think it's going to work because if you think about it, we're not discounting how big the English Premier League is there. Like, these are people's livelihoods, and this is like their Super Bowl, like Champions League tickets, which is like basically, so I don't know if you guys know how this works, but like the winners of the English Premier League and all the other European leagues play in like one big tournaments, like Champions League. So those seats were like to the final were like more than the Super Bowl. I think soccer is just so big down there that you're not going to be able to like get an NFL team or an NBA team. If you think about it, like but think about it though.
I disagree.
When like Jacksonville always goes down there, they sell out games. Why do they sell out a game? Because it's something new. It's not something that comes around all the time. I can't think of the word for it, but
it's like occasional.
Yeah, it's like an occasion. This isn't all.
Okay, but what about the whole time thing? What about putting? So right now in like Eastern Europe, basketball is huge. Like Southeastern Europe, like basketball's huge. So like, what if you put a team down there and like, I don't know, like.
So then you put an NBA team down there. Then that NBA team kills that league.
No, I think would be something cool.
They would play other NBA teams.
What if you had a
You're expanding the league.
Why don't you? Why not? Why not expand the
Logistically,
league?
this wouldn't work. Logistically, this wouldn't work. So I watched the video. I think the Rams played in Wembley, which is in England, a few years back, like 2 or 3 years ago. And there was a video about how like what goes in to moving a team, like for one game, moving a team there, right? And I think this is why in the NBA it would be even harder. It'd be ridiculously harder. And I think the NFL is the only way you can do it. But this, if you wanted to, but you can't because it takes so long to move a team there. They started moving equipment like a year and a half in advance.
Yeah, that was because there was nothing set up there, so they have to get everything prepped. I think if you already had an NBA team there, I don't see what the difference would be from going from, like, let's say Boston to LA. Like, what's the difference between going from Boston to LA versus Boston to London besides the international travel? But I think the only problem with going from like a team in London or even like in Asia would be like Boston to Asia and LA to like London, because that's like a huge plane ride.
You just leave earlier. Oh wait, back to back.
Well, I don't think.
Yeah, back to backs. That's like that's almost a 24-hour flight at least.
You would schedule it, and like no one has back to backs with the team. You have to do that.
Yeah, I think something cool.
Unless it's close, like California, like the Warriors against a team in Japan.
Yeah, something cool maybe would be like, what if they took like, say China for example, right? We'll just use China. Mm-hmm. Let's say they took China and eventually, very slowly they kind of put little teams in here and there in China. And then all of a sudden you have a Chinese NBA league going on that's the size of the American NBA. So then you
kind of like that. There is already that. It's just not.
No, but that's
it's the CBA.
Right, but that's not the NBA. I'm talking. You take like the NBA name, but make it like Chinese and put Chinese teams out there. So then you have like an American NBA and an Asian NBA, because you could expand like out of China. So it's like
there's teams there anyway. There's players like Stephon Marbury and Yao Ming, they all played down there. They went down there.
Wait, hold on. This is the other part of this. What if you have it so like there's the American NBA, and after the finals you have a world thing, whereas you take the Asian side and the Europe side, and maybe you get Australia in there too a little bit. You have all these continents, all those great ones that come in for a tournament, just like you were saying with the soccer league. So you have like FIBA. Yeah, it would be like huge.
That's FIBA.
Yeah, but China doesn't want anything to do with the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you don't understand. I think in China's like the second biggest market for that shit in the world, and if they don't want anything to do with the NBA, I think it's too much. A flight from LA to London is 10.5 hours. Like, imagine. So you're a team. So you're the Lakers, and you put a team in London. Say, imagine like back to back, and you're like, oh, gotta take a 10-hour flight. 10.5-hour flight.
I don't think it would be like that though. I think I think what you would have to do if you put a team in London is that you would have to expand outside of London and put teams in England, just around all of England. So that you could be like.
So that team's gonna get lucky, and that team's be like, oh yeah, we don't have to play these Steph Currys, LeBron James. All right, we're gonna just play like these scrubs, and then we're gonna play in the NBA championship. Like that's not gonna.
No. So how this would work would be like, so
like
let's
say. League?
No. So like let's say there's like London, Liverpool. There's only 2 cities I know in England, but let's say there's like 6 teams, 7 teams out in England, right? Yeah. So the Celtics play, let's say out in like New York, for example, right? They get on a plane in New York, they fly to England, and they play all the teams around there, and they come home, right? They come back to Boston, and they get a couple days off, right? Teams out west, they could come in for an East Coast road trip, have a couple games here, and then go out and play the teams out in England, and then fly home. I think that could actually work because you could have it set up.
So you think LeBron's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll be on the road for a month and a half, and then I'll like go back. Teams would never want to do that. I don't think it'd be a month
though. I think it'll only be like 3 weeks, just short of a month.
Which is like a month.
Yeah, just short of it though, and 3 weeks. And the other thing too is like these players too.
No, you spend it.
They're traveling.
I think
this is something that would happen with the 2008 Celtics when they went off to Italy in 2008, right before the whole NBA seasons kicked off. Then that was a huge bonding experience. I feel like if that happened early on in the season, that could be something that a ton of players like embrace, and like chemistry starts to build up by flying out to England and experiencing that, because it's totally different if those players.
That's exactly what happens when you have the international games, and that the reason why you only have one game is because if you keep having these games, nobody's gonna go watch Charlotte go play the Liverpool, Red Dogs, right? But people are gonna go watch Lakers and the Red Dogs play, but nobody, there's stuff. I think that it's not gonna be a special occasion anymore, and people are gonna be like, whatever, because you don't hear about these like England teams. I mean, obviously, it's not small, but it'll definitely be not as big as people think. Like the leagues that over there aren't that small, but they're also not huge. They're not. There's nowhere close to the NBA.
Yeah, I just feel like I think it'd be something cool though, as like a little different. And if it doesn't work, we fix it. And then maybe they move it. But I think a huge part too, maybe London and England is too extreme, and even Mexico. But let's go back to Canada and put some teams up there. I mean, I know the Grizzlies were in Vancouver, and I know that didn't work out. But I feel like that was at such a bad time period, and it's so different right now with social media. I feel like people in Vancouver would actually like it because basketball is like a worldwide sport. Like people like to watch basketball worldwide.
Memphis hasn't been doing pretty that good anymore.
They're gonna put with fans and whatnot. They're gonna put a team in Seattle before they put one in Vancouver.
Well, yeah, they gotta put a team.
That's probably
true. That's
and then Seattle.
You gotta add an even number of teams, so maybe they do Seattle and Vancouver.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Because Seattle, it's so close, anyways. So now you have Seattle.
No, but to add to equal amount, like you add 2 teams instead of just 1.
The MLB does. There's leagues that don't have an equal amount of teams.
Is there?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the MLB has 31, don't they?
I don't think
that's the MLB.
Yeah, the MLB only picks like 4 teams though for like the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think it's 6 with wild card. Because you have the 2 on the downside, you have the top seed and the wild card. Yeah, it's only 6.
The NHL have 31.
Like the NBA, you have 8. Like you have 8 teams.
The
right?
NFL
you have 30.
30 teams in the NBA.
The NFL has 32. The MLB has.
They have 30.
30. So the NHL has 31 teams.
There's the only one that has that number.
And they're putting an even number in because they're getting a Seattle team. I just think that they are gonna get you are gonna put in a Seattle team before you put in a Vancouver team. That was it.
Well, I think you have to.
But you do both. You do it at the same time. Yeah. You do it at the same time, not choose one.
The other thing is how far away you guys understand how far away Vancouver is from Toronto, right?
But still,
how far
wouldn't matter.
How far would it be from Toronto going to Portland, Oregon, or Toronto going to Seattle? But if we want to say we want to put a team back in Seattle, what's the difference if we're going with Boston to Seattle and Boston to Vancouver? It can't be that much of a difference. It's just
having those 2 teams closer to each other would be pretty interesting to have too. It would be it'd be a cool rivalry, for sure. It'd be a cool rivalry, and it would be an interesting thing any California teams.
I think that you're more likely to see another team in Canada before you see any team. I don't think there'll never be a team. There'll never be another.
But why can't we do both?
Put a team in Europe? Because I'm talking logistically. This doesn't work.
I'm saying, why don't you put one in Seattle and Vancouver?
Yeah, okay. You'll see that more. You'll see that before you'll ever see a team in England.
I think that's a good idea.
I think if you did Seattle, Vancouver, I think you would have to realign the league because those teams are both on the West Coast, so you couldn't have one of them be in the East Coast. You saw that when they did Toronto and Vancouver, they had an East Coast team and then they had a West Coast team. They had 2 teams that stayed in it. And you kind of see, too, the only exception I can think of is with Charlotte when they relocated. They went to the West Coast. They went from East to West conferences. So maybe, Seattle or Vancouver, they become an Eastern team even though they're on the West Coast.
Or you just move Charlotte to the East.
Charlotte is in the East. You could probably make a team like Memphis. They could probably be in the East. There's teams that could become an Eastern Conference team. So I don't think that's something that could hold it. I think it's an interesting topic though, just to see especially the NBA, because a lot of the other leagues they're not really looking to innovate. But Adam Silver, I've said this before, he's the greatest commissioner in all sports. He's always looking to expand or innovate in some way. So I think if anyone's going to do it, he's going to do a Seattle and Vancouver team at some point. And I also wouldn't be surprised if he went up and did other teams in, Calgary, Quebec, those big states and cities in Canada. I think a cool thing too, maybe hypothetically, what if we put a team in Alaska or Hawaii? That'd be pretty cool if you did that.
I think Hawaii would have to be better.
Yeah.
You can do Hawaii. Alaska's too.
I think Hawaii would be cool too because Hawaii, outside of Honolulu, is kind of crappy. So if you put it in there, kind of like Inglewood, an Inglewood kind of place, it would
have to be Maui though. It couldn't be Inglewood. It had to be something big. It would probably most likely be Honolulu.
Yeah. Why couldn't they go to Cuba down there?
Because Cuba's a dictatorship, and you literally can't get out when you get
the politics are weird. The politics are weird.
All right, well that. But what about like the Dominican? Why couldn't you go down there?
It's
why would you put a team in the Dominican? Why would you?
Why not?
Why would you do that?
Why not?
Oh wait, there's baseball teams in Dominican, but that's
exactly.
Different.
Why wouldn't you put a basketball
Nobody's
team?
Gonna go.
It's just
Nobody's gonna go to. Nobody from the Dominican's gonna go to a basketball game. Baseball is so prevalent down there that nobody's gonna go to a basketball game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see a team either in Vancouver, Seattle, or Hawaii. I think the most realistic one out of the three is Seattle and Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think you'll see one in Seattle in the next 5-10 years, probably.
You should. But
like the other thing we have to think about is why are these teams moving? Because it didn't work in the first place. If there was an opportunity to put a team in Alaska and it would have worked out, they would have done it already. Same thing with England. They've been talking about putting a team in England for the NFL for like 5-10 years now. Like it's not going to happen because these games that they do like 4 or 5 of these games. They work out so well that they don't have to put a team there full time.
I think the thing too is that it takes so much. Like it takes honestly 5 to 10 years just to get the idea rolling. That we can.
That's what I'm talking about. Logistically,
I think it takes another 10 to 20 just to actually do it. If you think about it.
And like logistically, imagine how hard that's going to be. Like it's hard enough to travel your team cross country. The other thing we have to think about is these guys don't play back to backs anymore. So imagine packing up your stuff. You're in Florida, right? You're packing up your stuff, and you got to go to England. All your stuff. And then you're flying back to the States. Like, imagine doing that. That's just.
Yeah, but too, like these teams.
It's a lot.
But these teams have their own like planes, and I'm sure the teams could supply players with like clothing and stuff like that. That wouldn't be.
No, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but you still need to make it. Like, I think that when these teams go, the management's goal is to make it so they feel like they're at home the most as possible when they walk into the locker room and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just so hard because you're going through international travel, and it just gets so hard to do. I think,
especially with families too.
Yeah, and like Toronto, I think when you go to Toronto,
fly with families though.
Like think about like
they would
players who lived in that country. Wait, what about like players who live in that country? Like everyone on the team like lives or has an apartment in that city.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think the other thing we have to think about is
where would their families live?
When they do Toronto, like when teams go to Toronto, they do it at a whole East Coast road trip, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going Toronto, you're going Boston, you're going to New York, and you're going all the way down to Miami. And when you go to London, you go there for a 1-2 game series, and you're coming home.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And it's not working. It's not going to work out. And I think your other idea, Jake, just wouldn't work out because these NBA teams. There's a reason why these teams don't play, like why these European teams don't play in the NBA, and why these European teams lose to summer league teams because it's just the competition in the NBA is so much better.
So what if we put like a G League team there or like an MILB team there?
Okay, so it's like the same idea. So you're going there for a game, and then you're coming back home.
No, but what if you had like. Maybe like NBA doesn't.
And the other thing is
in the MLB, those minor league teams, there's a bunch of small little divisions like single A, double A, triple A, and then inside those leagues, there's even smaller divisions. Like there's a Salem Red Sox. I know who the Salem Red Sox were. They followed my feed. That's straight up. And I'm sure people down in Salem, and that's Salem like down south, not Salem, New Hampshire. So I had no idea that was a thing. Also, I'm sure there's people down there that don't know the Lowell Spinners. So you could honestly take some of those teams and make more of them out in London and have like an England Red Sox team. Have an England Yankees team,
So yeah, but these guys get moved around. These guys get moved around. And these guys get moved around so much. Like, imagine, like, oh, you're going back to Lowell. Oh, you're going to, it's so easy to go from Lowell to Salem, but it's not easy to go from Lowell to England, back to Lowell to Portland, to Lowell to England. These guys get bumped around so much. It's just not easy to do.
That's true.
Let's say the NBA expands into Canada and they get the Seattle team. Would it be possible for the NBA to expand off the continent?
To like England?
England, China, Asia, Europe.
I don't know. You have to go south.
That's the same idea. Why would they do that?
So final thoughts, Caiden. You don't think it could happen?
No, you're going there for one. Logistically, it just wouldn't work. It's just too much work to go there for one game.
I don't think it could happen either. I have to again agree with Caiden because like it's just a little too much.
I could definitely see it
how
being
sick would that be? But it's a little.
And the other thing
I think it's a good thought. to think about and something that could work out. I don't think it could happen though. But
no, the other thing is like if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know.
Yeah.
Like these leagues are fine. You know?
But speaking of somebody that could make the NBA, we had our first interview today on Boston Power Hour. Manny Camper, he came on the show, gave us a cool little interview for you guys. So we're going to be giving you guys right now, and here's Manny Camper.
What's going on, Ride the Wave Nation? Today on Boston Power Hour, we have our first guest, Manny Camper. Manny was a junior captain for Siena and was selected to the first team All-MAC this season. Manny has recently declared for the 2020 NBA draft. Welcome to the show, Manny. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, so I want to start off from the beginning. When you were young, who was an NBA player or just player in general that you looked up to, you watched?
Kobe Bryant, he's my idol, man. I growing up, in a household with Lakers fan. My mother and my father, big Lakers fans. So, just growing up watching them continue to go to the championship and win championships. Kobe, and his dedication, that's something I looked up to.
Yeah, you really admire his mentality and stuff like that. Like I see it a lot in players. I look up to him a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously in your career, you had a pretty, good career right now. Playing D1 basketball is something that not a lot of people get the chance to do. I'm sure you've had some great coaches. What is one thing a coach has said to you that has stuck with you through your career?
My high school coach just telling me, Coach Bay Scott, just telling me that, the sky's the limit, never let anyone tell you that you cannot do nothing or accomplish anything. So I just took that with me, going to college. I didn't, I didn't start out how I liked it, with my minutes and things like that, but I control what I can control, and that was my, work ethic, and then it changed through the years, and now I'm in the position that I am now.
Yeah, kind of like control the controllables.
Absolutely.
So, you're a junior now, or you're going to be a senior, but you're entering the draft as a junior. If you don't get drafted, are you going to go play pro somewhere else, or are you going to enter for your rejoin Siena for your senior year?
Oh yeah, right now I'm just taking in the process with the draft. Taking as much of the information as I can. My goal is to go back to Siena. Finish my degree. I have one more year so I can get my degree. Hopefully, we can win another MAC championship.
Yeah, so this whole draft process, I know it's a little different right now with circumstances in the world, but what has the process been like for you, someone trying to make it to the draft?
So right now I've been talking with a few. I didn't sign with Nathan, but I've been talking with a few agents. The feedback period is actually the 16th, April 16th through the 26th. So I should be hearing some feedback pretty soon, days to come. And then after that, say it again.
I was going to say, have you reached out to any teams or any teams reached out to you with workouts or anything?
Not right now. I don't even think the workouts are going on right now so far. As of right now, they're just watching a lot of game tape and, looking at player stats to, get a judgment on, for the draft if they keep it to June 25th. But coaches can start reaching out to, the players at June 28th, after June 28th. So I would know more, later on the end of the month, the beginning of the next month.
Yeah. So when you were a freshman, you were averaging only like 6 minutes a game. But fast forward to junior year now, you're declaring for the draft. You're averaging 36 minutes a game. Big difference. What did you do to get here? Like, what changed for yourself, and what have you done?
I've just been putting in the work. Again, with me being in Siena 3 years, I had 3 different coaches. So, I had to adjust a lot with the 3 different coaches.
What's that like with the 3 different coaches?
It was tough, but, with me being able to play, multiple positions, being versatile, I think I was able to adjust quicker than, the usual person would. But my last coach, Coach Carmen Massarella, he's been great. The style of play, he liked to run and gun, attack the basket and finish. So with my athleticism, I've been able to excel in that system.
Yeah, it seems like it has really worked out for you.
Absolutely.
So obviously, you guys were bound for the tournament this year. Unfortunately, it got canceled due to coronavirus. But what has it been like being the leader or the captain on that team for bound for the tournament?
It was good. Like you said, we had a great season towards the end. I think we won our last 10 games, 10 out of the 11 games we won.
Wow.
So, we started gelling towards the end of the season, and that was great, being the captain, along with Elijah Burns, who also led with me as another captain. But it was great seeing the team progress over the year, and to be gelling at that, point of time, which was the most important in critical time in the season. One game and you lose and you're done. But just going to the tournament, being able to play the one game and win it, that was a lot. We were able, we were crowned the MAC champions, but we wish that we could have had the memories of the cutting of the nets and things like that. But we were crowned MAC due to, being number one in the regular season.
So being drafted in the NBA is obviously a dream come true for any basketball player. So if you had your choice, what team would you like to go to?
I get to ask that a lot, but for me, I think any team, it would be an honor and a blessing to play with any of those teams. All of the teams, great history and something great about it, whether it's the city, the scenery, the team, the players on the team. So each team has, great aspects of each team, and it would just be a blessing to play for either.
What could you bring, if I'm a coach, what can I look for you to bring to the team?
I'm just going to, play with that high energy, high effort. I'm a versatile guy. I like players like Kawhi Leonard and, Paul George. I'm going to play not on just the offensive end, but I'm going to give you the same amount of effort on the defensive end. And, I'm going to just get better over the years, continue to progress every day.
You're pretty solid all around, but if you could pick one weakness, what do you
for, just playing at that next level, I think I have to continue to work on my jump shot. Everyone, can become, my jump shot can become more consistent. And then, just handling it. I've been, like I said, I could play the 1 through the 4, but I think if I had better handles, continue to work on them, I would, set me up in a better position for the next level.
Cool.
So, Manny, thank you for coming out for the show today. Thank you, for spending the time with us. Good luck in the draft this year, and good luck in your future there at Siena or in the NBA.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
All right, guys, so that was Manny Camper. Manny, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. That was our first interview right in the middle of an episode, so definitely something for the history books here at Boston Power and Rodway Media. So that was something very cool. Manny, I really appreciate you coming on. One thing I took away from Manny, too, was just how much his attention to detail, I thought, and his work ethics, too. He talked about from his freshman year only averaging 6 minutes a game. Junior year, captain, turning down team, 36 minutes a game. That's something that, you can't get that without hard work. And same thing, too, he always talked about his coaches. A high school coach gave him some good advice, so that was something that I thought was pretty cool.
And, Manny, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to sit down with us and field our questions. One thing was just the way he held himself, very professional, and he was quick. He knew his answers, and we didn't tell him the questions beforehand, and we just went for it. He was right on it. He's right on, and like Jake said, his work ethic is what I noticed also.
Yeah, I really
he improved from 6 minutes freshman year. Oh wait, you're gonna see this in the interview. Like that span, it shows how much he can work at it. So
yeah, I think
he'd be valuable.
Yeah, I think I really appreciated the interview. Taking the time out of his busy schedule, and preparing for the draft and just having time for us is just great. A bunch of these guys you see are so filtered with what they say, and Manny was not like that at all. He really opened up to us, and wasn't afraid to give us some of the answers and that we were actually looking for, which is nice. I really appreciated that, and hopefully we can have more guys like that in the future. And it's one thing to interview a D1 athlete, which is insane in itself, but to interview a D1 athlete that has a chance to go to the next level is just crazy. And
plus, he's tourney bound.
Yeah, he was a great guy too. He's really down to earth and wasn't full of himself. It was great. It was great to talk to him. I really appreciated him and hope to see him have some success in the future here.
Yeah, hopefully he comes to Boston.
Yeah,
that'd be fire.
That'd be fire. Yeah, Manny was a great guy. Great guy, even good basketball player too. I'm sure any NBA team would be lucky to have him. So, good luck, Manny.
Yeah. So moving on to our next topic here. Jamison, you brought this up last week, and we didn't have time to fit it into our episode last week, but we moved it over to this week here. So should the NHL and NBA have quarantine playoffs where all teams stay in one hotel and the games are played in empty arenas?
I mean, yeah, we do need basketball back, but what's basketball without the fans? I'm sorry,
Can you imagine Damian Lillard's buzzer beater with no fans?
Exactly. What's that? Or Dwayne Wade's when he hit that buzzer beater and he stands up on the scores table. Think about without the roar. I know for a fact, playing basketball, you feed off of fans. Rockport, the town of. I was a bench player, by the way. Like, I was a big time bench player. But like, what?
Still on the team.
Yeah, still on the
got
team.
Your role.
I just played defense. But like, we had a nice student section, and we'd feed off the student section.
Yeah.
And that, it's just at that level. But think of an NBA level. Like, you need the fans.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think this would work, and I think it's something that's not in the best interest of the NBA. I mean, obviously, I want basketball just as much as the next guy, but personally, the way I look at it is that we saw that players in the NBA have coronavirus. They have this, virus that's going around, and we saw how fast it spread. Rudy Gobert, we're assuming, was the first player in the NBA to have it because he was the first one tested. We saw guys like Marcus Smart, he played him. Rudy Gobert, teammate, he got it.
Kevin Durant played him.
Kevin Durant,
he walked by him.
Random, yeah. The kid in Boston got it from Rudy Gobert, most likely. So, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, maybe before fans went into work, but I feel like it just got so out of hand that nobody can play basketball without risking.
Yeah, but like, I think it would lack something, like the game, and would people itself, really watch it? Like on TV, it would just be silence, like with the announcers.
And I feel like too, it kind of be like you guys remember like playing on like Saturday mornings, like when you guys were in second grade playing basketball, and like one team would go in to play, and then the other team would come off, and right when they were coming out, the other team would hop on. Would that be like the same thing in the NBA, where like the Miami Heat would play the Cavs, they would play for a second, and then they run off, and the Pelicans and like the Lakers would come out with like, I don't know, I think that'd be like kind of funny just to see professional athletes doing that. Like,
I think that the whole LeBron playing and not wanting to play without any fans is like BS. You're getting paid like however much money he's getting paid.
Braun hater.
$20 million. Like you're gonna play. You're gonna be like, well, I think I have a chance to win a championship, but no fans. I'm gonna sit this one out.
I think that was LeBron's. That was LeBron's way of just getting the fans back on the side a little bit. I feel like because that was like a little bit, yeah. Because I'm gonna, I could say, y'all play basketball. I want to win, right? Or he could say, I play for the fans. The fans that which if he does that, that's cool. I'm not saying that, but I also feel like it was a little thing to, get some things going, because I think stuff was going on. Hey, getting some more fans inside never hurts. So
I think that you can do it. And it's not a bad idea if you get enough tests. You can't not play, or you can't play when there's people that are actually dying and actually need to get tested, and there's not enough tests available for them. You can't just give them to these professional athletes that are going to play a game. I think the only way they're going to play is if you can get enough tests available that you're going to be able to abundantly test these guys multiple times a week. And you could definitely take a college campus and like a UNLV, right? And like just have it. Because the other thing is you don't have to play in stadiums. Like you don't have to play in arenas. You can play in a practice facility. And by there, it wouldn't feel as empty if you play in a practice facility. You can have two games going on at once. Can you still hear me there? I cut out. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have two games. You have two games playing at once. Say there's like a divider that goes down. There's still going to be noise. It'll still be okay because you're in a gym. There's echoes. I don't think that it will be that big of a deal if you're able to put these guys on a college campus, which is closed, and have each team be in their own little wing or section of rooms. You have an abundance of tests and people can get tested. It's not such a bad idea.
What I was thinking about is like it's kind of off topic what you were just saying, but like you'd be able to hear what they're saying, like even like you'd be able to hear what they're saying on the court. Like I was at one Celtics game. It was the Sixers game when JT. Oh my god, I can't believe I messed that up. Jason Tatum. That was very far.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Right?
Yeah, bro. I am not.
We're chilling.
Jason Tatum dunked over Horford.
Oh yeah.
I could hear them talking. Like I could hear them like they were talking a lot of smack. Like Grant Williams.
Yeah.
Like he was like battling with Horford. It was sick to see.
Awesome.
Like they're going at it. Like Horford was talking smack, and like you could see their mouths move.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, I got you. I didn't know where you sat. I thought you could hear him.
Dude, this is the craziest part. The balcony.
Really?
I could still hear it.
That's crazy. You know how loud they must have been talking? Well, the thing is that you get the fans yelling, and then you had the little jingles going that you pretty much have to scream for anyone to hear you. So that is pretty funny.
It's different on the court though, because like you're so close to each other.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not
talking smack. It's right in person's face.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to this idea, like I mentioned before. I think that's a cool aspect you could have to it, and hearing what these guys have to say, and obviously you can, mic each of these guys up so you can have the ability to control what goes on air and what doesn't, with the production truck. But you can only do it if you're able to, get an abundance of tests, like I said, and can't take a college campus. And I think it has a possibility of happening if Gary Bettman and Adam Silver really have the balls to do it and really have the balls to go against the CDC recommendations and do it. I think there's a chance, there's a shot. I think there really is. In the next month or two, I think this stuff can really calm down, and regardless of
a chance at sports. Oh, with fans or without fans?
No, without fans. I think that without fans, but I think there's still going to be like a change in how people like live their lives now. Like now we're kind of at ground zero, but I think in a month or two, things are going to start opening up again. You can start seeing it now. The liquor stores are still open and stuff. So, and I think regardless of the status of coronavirus, you would be playing without people already. So you're not going to notice it if you're in a practice facility and playing. It's just going to be like pickup. Like you're telling me that
it's the series of the NBA playoffs, like the series of a championship.
Yeah, but there's still stuff on the line. It doesn't matter where you're playing it. You're telling me that if the NBA championship was played in a park, in your local town, they still wouldn't care.
Yeah, they would still care, but there's a different atmosphere that comes with that. Like the finals brings an atmosphere with it that no other series brings with it.
But having that, but you're risking what you're doing is you're taking that atmosphere away for the ability to play. With that atmosphere, you would not be able, because with that atmosphere, which are created by fans, you would not be able to play because you won't be able to test all the fans. You'll be able to test the players, and then you play in a practice facility with enough, with just enough team personnel who you can test. So you're really putting, say, 10 to 15 staff, and then, say you can only carry 15 guys, right? Or 12 guys, and the other ones play, the guys who aren't going to play sit somewhere else. They're still in the facility, but they have to sit and watch somewhere else. So they're kind of secluded a little bit more. And I think you can sacrifice that atmosphere for the ability to play.
Yeah, it just comes down to whether you would want to see NBA basketball played with the atmosphere or without. I think that's what it comes down to right now. Personally,
I think the thing is you want to see it regardless. I don't know what you're going to say, Jake. Go ahead, but
I was just going to say personally, honestly, like if you can't have fans in the arenas, just scrap the season, just end it. Because yes, like as much as it sucks, but right now I just feel like the league is just such a different spot. Both the NHL and the NBA, there were games left to play, especially in the NBA. They still had at least a month left. I think the playoffs were supposed to start today.
They're supposed to start today.
So,
Saturday.
Well, I guess yesterday, Sunday now. But anyways,
you're that guy at the damn sleepover, bro.
But anyways, what I was saying was, that month, but especially in the Western Conference, that the race was so like even that any team had a shot to make it. And I feel like that wouldn't be right to those teams to say we're going right now, because it just wouldn't be right in my book. So I think right now you scrap the season, you don't give an NBA champion or a cup champion. I actually did hear though in the NHL there's a rule that the team with the most points or the best record is the Stanley Cup champions, and that would be the Bruins this year. So if you want to give us another title,
I think the Bruins were going to win this year.
I think they were too. But
but they're still like even if they do win with the whole point system, there's going to be an asterisk next to their name. I think.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You can't have that. You
also can't scrap it. You're telling me that because there's no fans, that you would rather just not see basketball.
I'd rather wait for it to come back.
Yeah.
So you'd
The only thing I would
need
be
fans.
So you're gonna be
allowed.
you're gonna rather watching 19. You'd rather watch 1960 reruns than watch a basketball game with LeBron James.
The only
thing, it's ridiculous.
The only thing I think would be a reasonable thing was wait for all this to be over, and then restart in August. Right, just go right to the playoffs. Scrap the other games. Go right to the playoffs.
Oh,
right.
You play playoffs.
From August.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying regular season.
August to like beginning of October, right? Have the playoffs, right? Because I think that's how it takes. So right now it's like mid-April. Yeah. So we'll say August to mid-October. Have it. October, November off. Start on Christmas. That's opening tip. Because think about it.
They've been wanting to do that.
Then you would only have September. You would have most of October, all of November, and half December off. Then you would have half December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and beginning of October.
Think about in the NBA Finals in the summer.
Like that would be prime time. That's prime time TV at its finest right there. And on top of that, if the NHL decides not to go through with it, because I think the NBA is going to lead the charge because they were the first ones to shut down. If the NHL decides we're just going to keep it the same way, then the NHL is not competing with the NBA for the first couple months. And on top of that, the NBA is not competing with the NHL for their finals and their playoffs.
Yeah, but
there's no competition right there. The only thing they're competing with is baseball.
Yeah. But then if you start in December, you're still competing with
you're competing with football for a month.
Football, college football,
and hockey.
Yeah.
Okay, so you compete with college football and the NFL for about a month at the most. Honestly, college football you probably do for a couple weeks, if that. No,
because they have bowl season, which is all of December.
Right, but if you start on Christmas, that's only like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess so. But,
so I mean, what I'm saying is, I think that would be something cool to see, like have the summer months, because that honestly, summertime for basketball and hockey and like NFL, that's the worst time because I have all the time on my hands. I don't have any school, but I can't watch any sports because obviously they're in the off season. So I think that would just be cool, just for people around the world too, and not around the world. Sorry, around the country. Just something cool to do.
I think there's a reason why they're not going to do that, and that's because these commissioners, no matter what league you're in, are all working very closely together. And that's what we saw the NBA shut down, and that's why all the other leagues shut down, because they're like, something's going up here. And there's a respect every single league has for each other, and they're not going to want to take over like baseball's spotlight that they've had forever, because baseball would die.
Yeah.
And it's already baseball's already on the lower than it's ever been. And now baseball is going to die. Or not, they're not going to die, but it'll be really bad for teams. Like, imagine.
That's a good point.
Imagine the Suns. Like, say the Suns had like an insane season, right? And the Diamondbacks, who can't get any people to their stadiums anyway, so now they're in the Suns are in the finals, and you got the Diamondbacks who are in the middle of their season, and all of a sudden they can't fill. You're gonna have teams that are gonna die.
That's true.
And leagues are going to die. And that's why that's not going to happen, is because commissioners have mad respect for each other, and leagues love each other. And that's how they survive, because everybody in this country is sports crazy. And which is fine. I love that. And
never a problem.
Yeah. Well, except now.
Except now.
That's why it won't work, because these other leagues like baseball that's already struggling is going to die.
That's true.
I'm sad about that. Baseball's going to die.
I love baseball.
Well, baseball's
such a classic sport.
Baseball's only going to die if you have this. If you're like, let's take the big leagues like NBA, NHL, let's put their postseason, which is going to get everybody, where baseball shines.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't want to see baseball die. I like baseball too much.
So that's why
Fenway Park.
And that's why the players aren't going to. That's why the leagues aren't going to do it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting. But like I said before, final thoughts on this topic. You can't put fans in the seats. Just scrap it. Go move on.
Yep.
Set. Because there's nothing. You just can't do it. And honestly, if it comes down to in October and September, when the NFL, NBA, and NHL start up again, if coronavirus is still a problem, then you continue to push back the season. And I don't know for the NFL how they could do this, but I know for the NBA, NHL, have a shortened season like they did in 2012 with a lockout.
Totally.
I wouldn't mind a 60-game season for both, anyways.
I mean, I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it either. But
then LeBron can't take any load management days now because you're like,
all right, give me
22 games.
You kidding me? Come on.
He'd be a Zion and he'd play 20 games a year and win MVP.
Honestly, Kawhi Leonard would probably take just as much load management.
He'd play the 5 most meaningful games of the year.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, playoff Kawhi is just different, though.
He is. He's different. He's a good player. All right, but moving on. This is becoming a Boston Power Hour tradition here. Jamison, what's your DIY?
Yes. Okay. I have bad lighting in my room everywhere except the spot I'm in. So I'm going to use my phone flashlight. Ready. In my room here.
See this DIY.
Flip you like that. Do something like that.
Nice stash you got going on there, brother.
Thank you very much.
Oh, the jersey's fresh.
How do I do this?
Nice black screen.
I feel like an old man.
Here we go.
There we go. I made a collage just today. I found stuff. I just made a collage.
This is what we do with sports. Okay.
The best sub shop in the world, Destino's, right there. Remember that, okay?
That's the place Jameson always goes to after we're done recording. He's like, I'm gonna get a sub.
It's the greatest sub of all. It's the greatest sub shop of all time.
Yeah.
I got other stuff. I got some memorabilia. See, it's anything you want it to be, and you just make a collage on your wall. This is really cool. This is Jim Gatwich dunking at the slam dunk, the Slam Summer Classic, and you can find other people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's my collage.
That's the collage. I like it. Bunch of Celtic stuff, bunch of Patriots stuff. I like it.
All right, let's flip this bad boy around.
Well, that's a Boston Power tradition now. Every episode, Jameson comes up with a new little DIY. You guys
until
collages
until quarantine ends.
Yeah.
Until quarantine ends.
I have a quick little question I want to
see good lighting.
Shoot you guys with here, and I want a 1-2 sentence response. But a couple years ago during the NBA lockout, some stars played at Rucker Park or whatever it was called.
Yep. Rutgers.
Do you think that there's a opportunity or a chance that this happens with some of these players are going to be like, we want to play?
They'd have to give up living with their families.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you think it'd be worth it? Family. That's my one word answer.
Just for a 2. But it's not like they couldn't move over there for a month.
2 weeks. 2 weeks away from. They would leave their family. 2 weeks in quarantine, play with people, and then once they go back to their quarantine, 2 weeks away from their family.
If they get tested, if they get enough tests, though, I don't think that would.
Still,
the whole test thing is. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Whether you want to talk about politically or economically.
2-word answer.
Hey, no, I was piggybacking off your answer. All right. Yeah, I think it's gonna. I don't know if that would happen. I agree with James 100%. You gotta have this 2 week quarantine, and then play.
Time and family.
Yeah, time and family. That's all.
It's too risky, and there's not enough. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it would be cool, but.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's gonna do it for this episode. It's 1:12 a.m. here. I have school tomorrow. Just kidding.
April vacation, baby.
Oh, my school got rid of April breaks, though. We don't have that.
Yeah, every school did, I think.
Old school. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
We're peacing the scene. I hope you enjoyed the Manny Camper interview.
Yeah, once again, Manny,
you can be something big.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, right on, baby. Right on.